Hey, this is Majin, and here's my comic pull list for May 31st, 2017. This was the 5th week, so DC didn't put out a lot of books, and Marvel just put out their usual trash. And there wasn't a lot of independence either. So it's a very, very light week. Picked up first Moonshine Volume 1, The Trade. Very, very cool story by Brian Azzarello about the illegal fishing times and werewolves. Very entertaining. Then I also picked up Flash number 23. Now, this one, it has a little bit of like what the Ring story did, and then it just takes the story in a slightly different direction, and then it also pinches it back, so to speak. Now, the beginning, you get this is what's going on with Barry. He's trying to figure out the body, like what happened. He knows Reverse Flash is going to come back. It's just a matter of time. But then he gets pulled away because it's his birthday. And, you gotta celebrate. That didn't really happen. That's just in his mind. But what I thought was interesting was throughout the entire surprise party, people could tell that Barry isn't there. He's deep in thought about something else, and they call him out on it. And he kind of is like, think about a case, and even then, it's like that's not even it. And you have Hal coming in, and Iris and Barry are having a deep conversation, and right where I guess you can say you start getting the feelings, because you're now dealing with these two characters, and Barry's got issues. He hasn't told Iris that he's the Flash, and Kid Flash is pissed off because he hasn't done that yet, and he's dealing with Reverse Flash, and there's a lot of stuff on his mind. And just, sure enough, what do you expect to happen when they're doing this character building moment? You have an attack. Now, it was at this very moment I realized, and I'm pretty sure of this, I don't think Marvel and DC writers really know how to write a complex story. By that I mean, think back to all of the comics that you've read, and where you have a relationship issue. And a lot of times they only just give you a couple pieces, and then alien invasion, couple pieces, Doctor Doom attacks, a couple pieces, and then something else happens. And it doesn't give these relationships a lot of chance to develop and grow. And what tends to happen in a lot of cases is they break up. And it's a sudden, we get this, we need to talk, you're distant. You're always being pulled away at the last second when we need to talk, and then eventually they break up. Now, I understand that's not always the case in every single superhero book, but you have to admit this happens a lot. And I think that, at least for me, there's still a lot of pages here where there's fighting. And I think what I would rather have seen is Barry and Iris talk. Just go through the motions of what's going on. Those types of moments, at the time you don't realize it when you're reading it, because all we want is the next super villain fight. But when you look back at the work, that's when you realize that those are the defining moments of characters. The important parts of their characters, their heart and the emotions and the way they interact with people. That was one of the reasons why the X-Men was so popular in the past, was because they actually spent time to build up the relationships. You had the Scott, Jean, Logan weird triangle that was but wasn't there. You had the Kitty Pryde Colossus thing going on. There was issues and they dealt with them. And granted, a lot of times they were guilty of that. We need to talk, but we never talk. But when they did talk, finally sat down and did something, it was usually the put everything in terms of family type thing. And I think nowadays these writers they don't know how to write it. And I think that a lot of writers, they just build it up to that point where they don't know what to do next. Or maybe they feel that, the readers won't appreciate the fact that they're going into into that direction. So they immediately throw in the fight. It's like, we all know the fight's coming. So why don't you do something different and actually develop these two characters? I mean, this would have been a classic moment. I mean, for Barry to finally go, hey, this is who I am. Hey, this is what's going on. But he doesn't do it. And, that moment's lost. But, of course, they tie it in. Well, Reverse Flash comes at the very end. And then, that's their way to justify everything. Just throw 1,000 different things at Barry at the same time. And, he's the Flash. He can figure it out. Anyways, that's the only comic. Those are the only 2 books I bought. But I did get previews. And I wanted to talk about Generations. Okay, now granted, not all of the Generation books are listed here. There's just a few. There's the Thors, the Phoenixes, the Hulks, the Wolverines, and the Hawkeyes. Now, after reading the description of these books, I swear to God, if any of your friends buy these books, you are all a bunch of retards, idiots. These books are the laziest idea of a story that nobody wanted to see. I can imagine this. There's a room. They bring in the editors and they bring in some writers, writers conference type thing, and they go, okay, look, we need yet another big storyline where we're gonna need to bring back some characters, and we can't do Cosmic Cube. So what are we going to do? And somebody goes, I think we can do this thing called Generations. Generations, we can have old and the new superheroes team up, and it'd be really cool. And I think people would like it. And people probably going, well, yeah, that sounds kind of cool, maybe. And they're saying, well, I can see the 2 Wolverines fight together. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe the 2 Thors. And there's maybe a little bit of talk of how they're doing this, and everybody's coming up with their own unique ideas. And then somebody goes, but wait a second, Hulk's dead. Oh, yeah. And they go, okay, what about Wolverine? Oh, geez, yeah, Wolverine's dead too. Oh, darn. What about Phoenix? That would be a great story. Old and new Jean. We can do a story about the Phoenix Force and since the maturing of the teenage Jean Grey and then having to deal with the Phoenix and the old Jean Grey passing down wisdom or something to that effect. And somebody goes, well, yeah, Jean's dead too. So then somebody goes, oh, and then it's quiet because everybody's like, yeah, what can we do? What can we do? Then somebody gets the idea, well, okay, this is what we're going to do. All of the new generation characters will travel back into time and meet the classic, the legacy hero. And they'll be on an adventure. And, because, all the Marvel editors and writers are all yes men, they all said, that's a fantastic, bravo, young chap, that is a fantastic idea. So this is what we get. We get Thor is in the middle of something, gets transported to ancient Egypt, meets, I think it was Egypt, or something to that effect, and meets classic Thor, and they go on an adventure together. Teenage Jean Grey gets sent into the past and has a heart-to-heart with her older self. Totally Awesome Hulk goes back into time and meets Bruce Hulk so we can all learn who the strongest of the two are. Nobody asked that question because nobody cares about Amadeus Cho Hulk. Maybe there's 2,000 people that want to know about Amadeus Cho Hulk. Nobody else does. Who cares who's strong? It's not even worth the time to debate Who's stronger? Oh, okay. Wolverine. Then now you have tame, neutered X-23 Wolverine going back into time and meeting maybe or maybe not so savage Wolverine. I mean, it could have been cool if maybe it was savage, uncontrollable X-23 and the pre-declawing Wolverine. That would have been a cool battle. Slashing through things. But again, it looks like we get ninjas, so, makes sense Canadian with ninjas, Then we get... This is another one that just makes my head just go, what the hell are they thinking? Modern woman Hawkeye goes back into time, meets younger Clint Hawkeye, where he's in the middle of a shootout to see who the best marksman is with supervillains. Yeah, that's pretty much what the story is. So, you know what's going to happen? If Clint wins, then Marvel's called a hater, you're hating on women. This is another case where a man has dominated a woman and, obviously, very sexist, can't do it. So either modern woman Hawkeye will win, or it'll be a tie between these two, or they won't really, get to that final shot type thing to determine because of all the fighting that they're going to have to do. Because that way, you cannot have that male win under any circumstances, even though he may or may not be more experienced, or, better or anything like that. I just think that as a whole, Generations is a weak idea. It's a joke. I can't believe they're charging money for this. If they wanted to do something like this, this should have been a free digital release. For them to put a price tag, how much are they even charging for this worthless piece of garbage? They are charging $4.99 for this. $5 for a crap throwaway story. Now, granted, they're probably gonna start. The only way they're probably gonna be able to fix this mess that they're in is all these characters are probably in alternate dimensions, and then they're, and they're gonna do it the X-Men Blue, where they're gonna pluck them out and put them in modern day time or something stupid like that. And my God, I can't. $5. If any of you want to buy Generations, may I suggest just send me the $5. But you don't need that $5 if you're really thinking about buying this book, because this is a joke. It is an insult. $5 free digital release. That's what it should be. They should have said, hey, guess what? If you buy the X-Men, you get a code for Jean Grey Generations. You buy Hawkeye, you get, hey, free code, Generation Hawkeye. You buy Hulk, free code. That's what should have happened. $5. Think about that. Marvel is taking $5 out of your pocket per book just so they can give you a throwaway. Unbelievable. And even if it wasn't a throwaway, at the level of writing these people are at right now, the level of storytelling they're at right now, it's not even worth 10 cents. Anyways, that's my pull list. That's a review, and that's my rant on Generations. Let me know if you guys picked up any books this week. There was a full lineup of Marvel, so I'm sure some of you bought some of that. We'll have more stuff later. Like, share, and don't buy this.